Welcome to Authentic English Podcast, your weekly show where education meets recreation. Here's your host with 20 years plus of teaching experience, Marcia Pike.
Hey there, Marcia Pike here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Authentic English Podcast episode. Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Want to get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial? You Authentic English Podcast listener and viewer can. Just go to audibletrial.com/AuthenticEnglish. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. I'm going to add the link to the show notes, okay? So let's get to today's show. Today's show is part 2 of a 3-part series. If you still haven't tuned into part 1, episode 21, please do so later. Well, as I was searching the web for updates on gun control, I found out that there has been another school shooting. According to CNN, we're 21 weeks into 2018 and there have been 23 shootings. This last shooting took place at Noblesville West Middle School in Indiana on Friday morning, May 25th, exactly 1 week after the Santa Fe High School shooting. The quote-unquote contagion effect, which I mentioned last episode, is unfortunately true. In the 2 weeks after a mass shooting, it is really more likely of another mass shooting to take place. Fortunately, the gunman in the Indiana school shooting was detained by a science teacher. The gunman's identity and the motive for the shooting still have not been revealed. Let's now analyze an excerpt from a Business Insider article. I'm going to break the excerpt down into chunks to better explain it to you, okay? So let's dive right in. Some states have stricter laws. Some states have stricter gun control. Some states have stricter laws. What kind of laws? Gun control laws. Some states have stricter gun control laws. Some states spend more money on education and care. Some states spend more money on mental health. Some states spend more money on education and care. What kind of care? Mental health care. Some states spend more money on education and mental health care. Note that in the sentences, some states have stricter gun control laws and some states spend more money on education and mental health care. The words laws and care are nouns, and gun control and mental health are compound adjectives. According to the Business Insider, states with stricter gun control laws that spend more money on education and mental health care have fewer school shootings. Note that compound adjectives are hyphenated. Gun - control and mental - health. Let's now learn how to use compound adjectives when there are numbers involved. First, let's go back to the basics about adjectives and compare the same sentence in the singular and plural forms. There was a mass shooting. It was horrifying. There was a mass shooting. How was it? Horrifying. There was a horrifying mass shooting. There were mass shootings. They were horrifying. There were mass shootings. How were they? Horrifying. There were horrifying mass shootings. Note that mass shooting and mass shootings are nouns, and horrifying is an adjective. In English, even if the noun is in the singular or plural form, the adjective is in the singular form. Let's now analyze the following sentences. He is a man. He is 20 years old. He is a man. What kind of man is he? 20-year-old. He is a 20-year-old man. They were children. They were 7 years old. They were children. What kind of children were they? 7-year-old. They were 7-year-old children. Note that man and children are nouns, and 20-year-old and 7-year-old are compound adjectives. Remember the previous examples? There was a horrifying mass shooting and there were horrifying mass shootings. Adjectives are always used in the singular form in English, no matter if the noun is in the singular form, mass shooting, or in the plural form, mass shootings. With that in mind, when talking about people's age, the singular form is used in compound adjectives. Keep in mind that the singular form is used and the words are hyphenated. For example, he's a 20-year-old man. And they were 7-year-old children. In the second example, they were 7-year-old children. If you want to omit the noun children, you can also say they were 7-year-olds. 7-year-olds. The word olds is in the plural form as children is a plural noun. Here's a Business Insider excerpt. On December 14th, 2012, a 20-year-old man shot his way into Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut, and opened fire. He killed 20 children, 6 and 7-year-olds, and 6 adults. Compound adjectives are pretty simple if you think about it, aren't they? Start noticing how they're used in day-to-day situations. That's a really well-known restaurant. We bought first-class tickets. She always stays in 5-star hotels. Rita and Diego went to a 30-day yoga retreat. The athlete has signed an $80 million contract. She has a 15-year-old and a 9-year-old. I can say that I have an 11-year-old nephew, but I can't say that I have an 11-year-old. Otherwise, it sounds as if he were my son. Well, check out the articles I've used in this episode in the show notes. The first Business Insider article in the show notes is full of compound adjectives. Go check it out. I believe that learning English from reliable articles is a fantastic way to see how language is used. Also, check out last week's transcript to study how I used compound adjectives in episode 21, Gun Control, Part 1. All you've got to do is email me at marcia@authenticenglishpodcast.com and ask me for transcripts of episodes 21 and 22. Next week's episode is going to be the third and last part of this 3-part series. 3-part series is a compound adjective. In next week's episode, you're going to learn about the second conditional. Well, if you still haven't tuned in to episode 18, please do so sometime throughout the week for you to learn about the first conditional. It's always very important for you to review previous structures before learning a new structure or grammar point, okay? If you want a bigger challenge, try listening to my podcast, just the audio, before watching the video. This will definitely help you improve your listening skills even more. You can listen to Authentic English Podcast on Apple Podcasts if you have an iPhone, or Stitcher if you have an Android phone. All you've got to do is download the Podcasts and Stitcher app to your cell phone. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you still haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel so that you'll get a notification as soon as a new video comes out, okay? If you know anyone who will also benefit from today's content, please share it with them. Sharing is caring. Well, I hope you have a great week listening to your free audiobook from Audible. Take care.
Great having you with us today. Keep on with Marcia on social media. Head over to authenticenglishpodcast.com to practice what you've just learned. And subscribe, rate, and review. Take care.